Hi everyone. Little bit of an update. Sorry, I'm trying to move around because I feel like every time that I see a video on YouTube, my face is like the entire screen, which to me is unflattering. But I'm just using my vanity here. I don't have any fancy tech gear, so thought I'd sit back a little bit and stop slouching. Anyways, so we are starting. I consider it cycle two, because the last cycle was canceled. I have started my period and that's done already. It ended Monday. Tuesday went in for my ultrasound. I think I'm pretty much like getting used to having, for lack of a better term, things jammed on up in there. It just doesn't faze me anymore. It doesn't hurt. It's just, they're like, oh, a little bit of pressure. I'm like, no, not really. Just get in there and do what you need to do. Let's move on. So the last two times have been a medical student with my doctor, which I don't mind at all. And she's been the one doing it. So, my doctor has helped her a little bit to find what she needs to find. But, so went in Tuesday morning. Doctor came in with the medical student and kind of chuckled and said, I don't know if you heard us talking out in the hall. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, what now? She said, I was reminding my medical student that you are the one that we have been using as a, I can't remember if she said like teaching, moment for clients, or if it was something like a warning, but she said, I can't remember the last time that I have had to cancel a cycle. She said, and so I've been telling clients, like, it's not something that happens regularly, somebody that has 7 follicles. But if that happens, like, I have to cancel it. And I said, I kind of chuckled and said, yeah, like we could do twins, but that's about it. And she had said, well, if we would have went through with it and they would have stuck, she said, that's how you get yourself a Lifetime movie. So I kind of chuckled and I'm like, yeah, we don't need that, that added stress. So she did make the comment though. She's like, I can't imagine having twins on as a first pregnancy. And I thought, well, what does it matter? Like, to me, that's the easiest. Again, I don't have kids, biological children. Like, one and done. Like, it didn't make sense to me why she said that, because I don't think you're ever like experienced as a first time mom, because every baby's different. So I just thought it was funny that she said that, but I'm like, whatever, your opinion's fine, just like mine. So she did the nursing student did the ultrasound. She said that, I think it was my left side that had like 1 or 2, she said, innocent looking ones, follicles. And I think my right one had 1. So it may be just 2, like 1 on each side. I'm not sure. And she said, again, that one looks innocent. So again, smaller, not as scary. She said, I want to decrease your Clomid to 25. So she's like, unfortunately, you just have to cut a pill in half. Take half a pill for 5 days. And I said, that's fine, whatever. She said, start tonight. And so Tuesday would have been day 5. So it is like the last day that you can start. If you don't start that day, you're done. So we talked about that. And then she had asked me, she's like, how did you feel last cycle? Because I had so many. And I told her, it was the Thursday before, I think it was the 13th. No. 16th. Yeah, the 16th, I think. I said I had been tracking my ovulation. And I said, that Thursday, I said, I just felt awful. Like I was so sick to my stomach. My head was killing me. I thought I was going to throw up multiple times. Like I just kept chewing gum. I didn't really want to eat. And I said, I felt horrible. And I told her that I had taken my ovulation test then on Friday. And I said, that was my peak. And so I said, I was assuming that was like, I was feeling that way because of all of the eggs that were releasing. And she said, yeah, probably. She said it was literally like fireworks, was one like flying out after the other. And I said, well, that was horrible. Especially when nothing came from it. Like if I'm going to feel like crap, let it be because I have a little babe inside me. Not because I'm like letting all those eggs just kind of fly and not use them. That seems dumb to me, but I didn't tell her all that because I try and be respectful, even though I disagree with some of the things that she had said on the last cycle. But so I go back next Tuesday the first one after your period is called the baseline, and they measure and look, make sure you don't have any cysts, which she said she is absolutely shocked that I do not have any cysts on my ovaries from last cycle when I had so many follicles. Because my understanding, not a doctor, but from what I read, is if an egg is not released, then it can actually make a cyst. And so it's hard to decipher what's follicle and what's cyst if they almost look the same at the beginning. Like my very first round, I had to go get blood work to make sure that my levels were where they should be so that it didn't indicate I had a cyst, because if I have a cyst, I can't do anything. So I didn't have any, so that's fantastic. So this next ultrasound is to measure the follicles, see how many I have, measure it, and also make sure that my uterine lining looks good and it's not too thin or anything. And so I have to bring my trigger shot next Tuesday. And then we'll trigger hopefully that day if everything looks okay. So that means that I'll get my shot that day and they'll just give it to me, which I would prefer. I mean, I can give myself a shot, but it's kind of hard to like stand in the mirror and like down lower on your belly, like give the shot and make sure it's where you put the cotton swab of alcohol to clean. I can do it. I just would prefer not to. So hopefully I can trigger that day. And then we will transfer either Wednesday or Thursday of next week. The only thing that decides that is like which office we want to go to. And I told them, like, we've been sticking with the Canton office. We've had to go to the Akron office for just a couple things, but I told them, I said, it's a 5-minute difference for me. So I don't care. And I would rather like trigger and then within 24 hours go, and not trigger and then within 36 hours go, because that's what we did the first time and it didn't work. Now, is that me saying that it didn't work because we did it that way? Absolutely not. I have no idea why none of this is working. In fact, my husband and I, before we knew of the 7 follicles, did the baby dance. I guess that's the polite way people are saying it now, because we had no idea. And when I told after I was so upset and I left and I called my nurse practitioner, I told her, I said, I just want to let you guys know, like, we had no idea this happened before we went. So, I know that you guys have told me sperm can stay in you for up to like 5 days. And so if that's the case, then I don't know. And she's like, oh yeah, that's not great. She's like, you will need to test if you don't have your period. Fine. So tell me how cycle 1 trigger, everything looks great. I think there was 1 egg that time, I think, if I remember correctly. I trigger at home on my birthday, and then we wait 36 hours. Again, it was actually like 35 by the time he had to go and give his sample, and then 36 by the time that I received his sample. Didn't work. Baby dance without even freaking knowing what's going on, was 7 little follicles, nothing little about it. 4 mature follicles for sure, and 3 others that could have matured in time. And we don't have a baby. And so yeah, like I have no freaking idea. And That has been the most annoying thing to me this entire process, is that not one person can pinpoint why this isn't working. I get it. I've never been pregnant before. I've never tried to get pregnant before. So I understand, like, if the first one doesn't work, like, your body's just trying to, like, figure out what needs to happen. I mean, I've been on the prenatals, I've stopped my other medicines. Like, I mean, I am stressed. My job is killing me right now just because I'm learning new things, and we've got like a couple new workers, and like we're down a worker, and everybody's just trying to chip in and make sure, because this is not something where it's like and take no offense to what I say, but it's we're dealing with kids' lives, and so it's not something that, like, oh, if it doesn't get done today, get done tomorrow. No. There's rules, regulations, laws that have to be met every month, and we have to ensure that that's getting done. So whatever's going on in your personal life, to an extent, doesn't matter, because kid safety matters. So, just trying to get everything done with that, and frustrated because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm, reading rules and like trying to memorize things, and, be helpful to my foster parents. And we removed quite a few kids within the last 2 weeks, and it's literally been nonstop, the stress of trying to find homes. So can I time out and put a plug in? If you have any desire at all and you live in or around Holmes County to foster, please, it is a nightmare trying to find placement now. Yes, kids go through trauma and they act out, and it is tough. It's tough as a person who doesn't know this child to have them in the home, and then you have other kids, and there's a lot going on. And so I fault no one for not being able to take every kid that I call about. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot for all of our foster families. And we have older kids who need homes, and who need people who, like our current foster families, who love them unconditionally. The amount of love that I see for these kids is astonishing, especially when you don't know them 24 hours before. So I'm going to plug that. Call me, let me know if you want to be a foster home. I think it's important. I think it's important for Holmes County that we rally together for these kiddos and try and keep them in their county if they have to be removed for safety reasons. So let me know. Side note, getting off that soapbox. So work's been crazy. And so I'm like, okay, so is it stress related? Am I not getting pregnant because I am so bloody stressed that, like, my body's like, you can't, it's in like fight or flight mode? Like, I don't know. I've done my research. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I hate this, because it's like, I don't know what to fix if I don't know what the problem is. And I feel like I've probably been that way my entire life. And so that's frustrating to me, because if it's stress, fine, let's figure out how to combat this. Let me go to my supervisor and say, hey, I'm going to approach things a little bit differently now. If it's my husband secretly wishing or talking to his little soldiers saying, don't do it, don't do it. That's not true. That's not happening, because he wants a baby too. But my mind is just like, what is it? What can I fix? Do I not lift a bunch of heavy things? Do I not, I don't know. I think of the dumbest things, and then I have to Google it, because I'm like, is this a thing? Should I not eat salads that are prepared 2 weeks before I go and get my husband's sample? I don't know, and it's so annoying to me. It is so annoying, because this is our heart's desire, and it's just not happening. And so there's been a lot of tears, from being tired with the process, to being stressed because of work, to just being tired. I don't sleep hardly anymore, because I'm just uncomfortable with my fibromyalgia. I don't sleep. So that flares that up then, and my nerve pain in my feet is back. It's just a lot. And so I looked up ways to help with stress and, the mind, soul, body connect thing. I'm a spiritual person, but as in, praying to God and studying his word and things like that. Not so much the spiritual realm, not that I think that it doesn't exist, but a lot of the people that I've looked up or have watched stuff about talk about, like placing your hands on your lower belly and like breathing in, breathing out, closing your eyes, like calming down, like envisioning this baby. And this one lady said that she believes that babies pick their mothers and that they're just waiting for us. And I was like, I mean, I'm pretty appealing. So like, it's actually making me laugh. I'm sitting in bed so tired watching TikTok and this lady's saying this and I think, I'm not a terrible person. Like, I think I'd be a good mom. And so what is keeping my little baby from picking me? Just like, if it were that easy, like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. Like I said, I follow some people. I have done, people talk about vision boards and stuff. I haven't done that, but like, I believe this is a thing from God. And, my prayer is that this happens. And, I will take time to remain stress-free in the hopes that helps. I've started walking a little bit more, being a little bit more active. I know that I could stand to lose some weight. And so, I've been trying to do that as well, washing my portions. I can tell I'm losing a little weight, but, I'm trying to do things that are within my control to help without going crazy or overboard. So, I do pray a lot about it. And, sometimes I'll be laying in bed or sitting in my recliner and I just kind of put my hands on my lower belly and I'm just like, God, please let this be what you want for us too. And I always specifically pray for a beautiful, healthy baby. Like, I don't care if it's a boy, I don't care if it's a girl, just, I want them healthy. I want to have a safe pregnancy. And that's all we want. So we will just keep going. We'll see what happens. I felt good after this last appointment. And then now reality's kind of like smacked me in the face a little bit saying, yeah, but you don't know what to change. Like, what's going to change? What can you do to change? And that's all I hear. And of course, every time that I look up something on Google, Facebook is like flooded with, baby stuff. Sorry, my eyes are watering. Like outfits and strollers and all these things. And then that just gets me excited. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait until, I'm able to purchase these things because I have a little babe inside of me. And then I get sad and I'm like, oh, maybe that won't happen. Now you just got your hopes up. So I'm trying to not let fear run my emotions. But I'd be lying if I said that it doesn't creep in and I have to kick it back out. Sorry, my eye. I washed my face and I think I might have got soap in it or something. But so we're just gonna keep going. I appreciate everybody who checks in on us, who's praying for us, and I know Chris does too. Pray for my stress, pray that this is God's will and it happens and within a means that we can make it happen. We stress about having to possibly go to IVF and what that looks like and how much that costs and how we make sure our needs and our kids' needs are met while trying for another baby. So, we'll see what happens. pray for our spirits, pray for our hope to stay high. It's hard. It's very hard. So we will go from there again next Tuesday. Hopefully trigger shot day, and everything looks good. And then Wednesday or Thursday, we transfer. I plan on taking that entire day off, coming home and sleeping. I learned that last time because it is quite emotional, like just like draining, like because you're all like hyped up and stuff, and then like it happens and it's not painful at all, and they don't even give you anything for it, but it's like you can breathe, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I'm exhausted. Especially the last time that we did it, we had to get the kids to the babysitters so they could go to school, and I think we had to get up at like 5 and get the kids over there at like 5:45 because we have to drive half an hour out of our way to get the kids there if they're with us. And then at that point it was like, was it 2 hours? No, I think it was an hour and 45 minutes back. So it was super early for us too. And so that's what we're kind of hoping for Wednesday of next week, because we won't have the kids yet. We'll have them overnight Wednesday into Thursday. And we're not hiding it from them, but, we want to share the good news with them, and we don't want to potentially add any stress, about what we're doing. We know, our almost 11-year-old next month, is dying to be an older sister. And so we just don't want to get her hopes up and then like have to report bad news to her. She doesn't need that. She's had a lot of changes in the past almost 3 years of her life. And we just don't want to add that stress to our kids. Our 12-year-old, he would be like, yeah, cool, whatever, and probably forget about it because he's a boy. He doesn't really care. I mean, he's excited, but like, he doesn't really care about any of that. So, again, not hiding it. Chris and I have talked about talking to them about it, but we just kind of want to wait until, we have good news without having to add like stress or worry onto them about if it's going to happen. And, I think partially we just don't want to have to answer 101 questions. And then, things are going really good with the co-parenting right now. And so we don't want to stir up any of that. Like there's just a lot of factors that we're just kind of like, we'll just wait. We'll see. So that's the update. It's long-winded because I feel like I haven't done one in forever. And it feels really good to get this stuff off my chest. So thanks for listening if you've made it this far. If not, we'll just take your prayers. We know that you guys care about us and you want us to succeed. So have a good evening, and hopefully I have an awesome update on next Tuesday.